Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game So today I got a super fun and exciting episode for you guys today because we're going to be taking a look at Super Mario 64 Coop Deluxe. This is based on the PC port and decomp of Super Mario 64, and it just updated as of 3 days ago as of me recording this video. You're probably going to watch it on Sunday, so it'll be 4 days your time. And honestly, a ton of times I've been talking about the decomps, recomps, and PC ports on the N64 side of things, and this is what I've been meaning to talk about. Now that it does have a big meaty update, it seems like the perfect time, because trust me, Co-op 64 is absolutely chaos. There's so many different modes to play. It's basically like Super Mario Maker except in Mario 64, and you can basically do anything you want. Before you get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. Now obviously Super Mario 64 Co-op Deluxe is going to be a co-op experience, but it isn't just the vanilla game of Super Mario 64, even though you can set up a lobby to do that, either locally as well as online. There's so many different modes in this game, people just basically come up with whatever they want. We're going to play some only up in just a moment, as well as B3313. This basically has every idea that Mario has ever used and Nintendo has ever used to make a 3D Mario game, all injected into one actual PC port. There's going to be new characters, custom movesets. Basically, the sky is the limit when it comes to things you can do here, and that is definitely a ton of fun because there's so many different incredible mods and different reworkings of Super Mario 64 out in the wild. Having them all available via co-op is definitely going to be amazing. But take something like B3313, that quote-unquote haunted Mario game where you basically have an AI within the cartridge in and of itself that is quote-unquote tailoring the game to your experience. It has always been a little bit of a fun urban legend lore mod in the Mario community, and it's something you can play here in Co-op Deluxe. Just be aware you can set this thing to 16:9 as well. I actually prefer playing my Mario PC ports in 4:3, just something about it has a little bit of nostalgia. But obviously you can see from the screen you're getting a much improved frame rate, and obviously you're getting better graphics as well. So this really is kind of the best of both worlds. You can tailor the experience to whatever you want. And if you've never played B3313 before, I can't recommend it enough. It is absolute insanity and one of the weirdest Mario ROM hacks out there. There is a version that runs on real hardware, there's a version that runs on emulation, and within Co-op Deluxe here in the Super Mario 64 PC port, you can have a custom tailor-made version of B3313 for your enjoyment. It's definitely one of those things, if you've never played it before, you're going to be blown away by just how weird it is. So you'll see here on December 31st, about 3 days ago, this was updated to 1.4.1, and it hadn't updated in about 6 weeks or so. There's going to be a lot of bug fixes, a lot of new features, and just a better overall Super Mario 64 PC port experience all around. And the best part about Co-op Deluxe is you can play this at home with a friend, or you can jump in online. Like right here, we are playing only up in Super Mario 64. There's a bunch of other people that are going to be trying to climb this tower at the same time. You can set up races, you can set up whatever gameplay style you want, but I absolutely love just how creative people are with this thing, because you'll see here you can set a flag, and if you fall down you go ahead and push up on the D-pad, and that will allow you to go back to your previous flag and then basically try that jump again. So it's kind of like only up, except with a little bit less as far as the actual consequences of your failures are concerned. And that really is the thing about Co-op Deluxe. With so many different modes, you're definitely going to find one that you love, and you're going to find one and discover one you never knew existed, and you're going to have an absolute metric crap ton of fun playing around with it. You'll see here there are leaderboards as well as some metrics as to how far you've actually gone up that tower. Leave me a comment down below and you tell me if you ever played Super Mario 64 Co-op Deluxe before, because I would be curious. Of all the decomps, recomps, and PC ports I've talked about on the channel, I would definitely say Super Mario 64 just has all of the actual mods and everything else contained within the package. And obviously, because it is one of the most famous Mario games of all time and one of the famous N64 games of all time, you can tell people have spent thousands upon thousands of hours tailor-making this thing to whatever the hell they felt like. And that really is fun because, again, it kind of feels like Super Mario Maker except in 3D. And trust me, only up is not easy whatsoever. You definitely could spend an hour, 2 hours, maybe even 10 hours trying to get to the top of the tower, depending on how good you are at Mario this day. And honestly, I'm only decent, so you'll see I do take a couple falls, but if you like this kind of rage gameplay, this is going to be amazing. But we're going to do the first of 2 soundtrack samples because this game of course has a ton of different music, and I'll be right back with more. I'm not exactly sure what music would be perfect for a Super Mario 64 only up, but that track there has a vibe. It's kind of calming and also just kind of gets you into the rhythm of what you're doing here. But trust me, this thing gets incredibly difficult incredibly quickly. I'm not sure what was going on here, but I basically fall through the castle every time I try to make this jump. But with that warp flag, you're going to be able to go back and make the jump over and over again so that you can actually figure out what it is you're supposed to do and how to progress. But the reality of the situation is, if you're not an only up fan, if you don't like rage games, then there's going to be something completely different for you to play around with in here. Because you'll see, when I was recording this, there was 5 different pages of lobbies, basically giving you like 50 different variants of Super Mario 64 to play and to enjoy in your own time. Or something like Balloon Attack here, which kind of feels something like it was pulled out of Mario Kart 64 with all the balloons in the back of your cart, except in this instance the balloon is floating on your head and you have to punch, kick, or otherwise attack your opponents to try to up your score. It is absolute chaos, you're never quite sure what is happening, but you're having a ton of fun, and that kind of is the main takeaway of something like Coop Deluxe. You're never quite sure 100% what you're going to get yourself into, but you're going to realize it's creative, inventive, and basically reinvents the Mario wheel. And again, some modes you just might not like, some modes you might absolutely love, but that is the fun part of kind of going through the lobbies and picking out what you want to take a look at. Think like Super Mario Maker, where you go into a level and all it has is a star rating, but you're not quite sure exactly what you're going to be doing. Sometimes you find one of your favorite new things, like Flood mode here, where the world is going to flood. Very interesting, kind of feels like a combination of hot lava as well as something like Only Up at the same time. And you're definitely going to have a lot more interesting moves here. Mario's going to be able to throw his cap, just like Super Mario Odyssey, to be able to kind of scale higher than you normally would. So there's definitely going to be a lot of intense platforming in these games, depending on which mode you're in. And with all the extra characters I'll show you in just a moment, you can basically play this every single day from now until the end of time and probably still find something new. Because like anything, the community around it is what's building this thing, and you keep seeing new stuff every single time you kind of log in. And with all sorts of different modifiers, you can create your own lobby or server and decide exactly what Mario experience you want to play that day and try to get friends along for the ride. And the best part is you can also have private servers if you want to set something up with your friends that are in different areas. Just kind of play amongst people you know. That's going to be totally achievable as well. And I definitely died there because I screwed up, and now you have a free camp just to kind of move around and see exactly what's going on in this contest. And basically, if you want to add mods to this thing, you totally can as well. On Flood Expanded here, you can go into the UI, change things around. You can also see all the different achievements, how everyone is doing score-wise, as well as jump into the character menu and change your character to whoever you want. While Luigi, Wario, characters from other games, you can just kind of basically make your own experience, and that really is kind of the fun here. It's an unlimited menu of everything you'd want to do, and you can kind of just combine it together. Think about your favorite restaurant in the world. Just think that they had every single dish that you loved, and you can decide every time you walked in what you were going to eat that day. That is Coop Deluxe. Let's do one more soundtrack sample because again the music's great, and I'll be right back with more. Definitely some weird music and definitely some weird sound effects, so that's because this is B3313, and that really is the great thing about Coop Deluxe. I can play this for an hour, and if I feel like kind of jumping out, I can pop back into the main menu and go to the Only Up mode and kind of just try to get a little bit further up that tower. If that's boring me, I can do some hide and seek, I can do some flooding, I can do whatever I want, and that kind of is the magic of something like this. There's an infinite amount of combinations for you to do whatever you want, but I can't stress enough, if you never check B3313 out, it is one of the weirdest ROM hacks ever made. It is absolutely massive, probably like 10 to 20 times as big as the actual world of Super Mario 64. It might not be for everyone, but it is something that absolutely is going to confuse the ever-living hell out of you in all of the best ways possible, and it's something that in Super Mario 64 Coop Deluxe you can jump right into, play yourself, play with friends, play with people you've never met before, and that really is the ultimate charm of something like this. It's every single version of Super Mario 64 you could possibly imagine, plus an infinite amount on top of that you've never ever seen before. So if you want to check this one out, the link's in the description below, and again, because it is based on the PC port and the decomp, fits right into big decomp energy perfectly fine. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.